Hi guys, I'm Mikael from Opeth and you're watching Toazted.
Can you first of all introduce yourself?
My name is Mikael and I play guitar and sing in a band called Opeth.
Well, welcome in the Netherlands.
Thank you.
It's always nice to be in the Netherlands, or not?
Yeah, we enjoy it here. We've been a bunch of times.
But now it's sold out. That's a special feeling.
Yeah, I guess. But, we generally have a good crowd and a pretty decent following when we play in Amsterdam or in Holland overall. Or anywhere, basically.
Are there no places that still disappoint you?
No, not really. It obviously happens that you play a show and it's not many people there, but it's quite rare for us these days.
It still happens?
Yeah, it happens, but the last time I was really disappointed in Eterna was we played Bilbao in Basque country, and we had like 150 people there, which was not good because the venue was very big. But it's okay, doesn't matter.
Big venues are hard to fill.
Yeah, well, we played some really big shows. We played supporting Megadeth too, and like big arenas, and there was not a lot of people coming to some of those shows.
Not even for Megadeth?
No. Well, I think they overbooked two big plays,
Clearly.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Watershed's the new album, and you produced it yourself. Why did you do that?
Because we can, We never really relied on an outside producer for 18 years on all the albums that we've done. We worked with producers, but never for a whole album. We've always been producing the albums ourselves, I think, ever since the beginning.
But this is really on your own, right?
Yeah, and so was the last one, and well, basically the only producers that we ever worked with is Steve Wilson, who worked with us for 3 albums, but he only came in for like lead guitars and vocals, so he never produced drums or rhythm guitars or bass or anything like that. So he was always helped out with vocals. So I think every album has been band produced.
So you really getting the feel of it.
Well, it's producer. A lot of people kind of don't really know what it is, what it means. They think that it's the engineer. Mm-hmm. Producer to me is somebody who gets actively involved with the music, as well as having an opinion on how it's going to sound. And it's inevitable when you're writing songs the way I do. You're a producer. It's basically the same thing.
There's so much going on all the time.
Well, you produce material, so.
When you're working in the studio, you use a lot of different instruments and a lot of different layers on the album. So when do you start thinking about how you're going to do that live?
We try, these days we try to rehearse a lot. We try to play the songs in the rehearsal room as we want them to sound, basically. And that's the kind of that's the basic idea of the song. Then in the studio, obviously, you do things or track things like a couple of times to make it sound fuller. And obviously, we dabble with acoustic guitars, and stuff like that. Lots of different keyboards. But we couldn't really play a version of the song exactly as it sounds on the album. But that's not really interesting, We just make sure that we play what we want the song to sound like. That's pretty much enough, I think. But
you also use some new instrument. Is it the first time you used an organ on this album?
No, we had it on the last 3 actually albums, and also some parts on the other albums too.
You used really one from a church, I heard, or?
Yeah, we did use real church organ in the last song on the new one. That's the first time we had a real church organ. Yeah.
And where did you get that? Or
it was a local church nearby the studio, and we just I guess I wasn't there physically for the recording. It was just a keyboard player and one of the engineers who went over to record it, and they just asked and they said yes. Unfortunately, he broke one of the keys, and it was like right before Christmas. So I wouldn't think we're invited back.
No, it's never going to happen again.
No, probably not in that church anyway.
Actually, there's a lot of keyboards on this album, the new album. Is that because you got now the keyboard player?
Well, in a way, yeah. We have it's because we have a new, writing the songs, I have a new instrument to play around with, and I have a keyboard back home, and I just kind of switch out. If I don't come up with something on the guitar, I go for the keyboard or for the drums. Or
but you can play all the instruments, or
no, I can't play, but I can think. I can think them, and I can make out what I want to hear, basically. So some of the parts I've written on keyboards, obviously, and I guess it's a little bit more. You know, we started. You know, you're a bit shy, if you know what I mean, and to go from a band that never really used keyboard that much to have a keyboard as an integral part of the sound is it takes some work, I guess, you know, and it takes some getting used to as well. But I think I just felt comfortable writing some stuff on the keyboard.
Do you think that's the biggest difference between this album and the last album?
No, not really. The last one album had lots of keyboards too, and the one before had also some keyboards, but
not as much as this one.
I think it actually did have, you know, but maybe not in the forefront of the sound picture. But I'm not sure if that's the big difference. I think the songs are a bit different. You know, the sound is different. It's a bit more grittier. The last album sounded very slick and clean and polished. You know, this one is a little bit more dirtier sounding to me, and
more live sounding.
Maybe, and the songs I think are more worked. They're more worked out, you know.
Because you didn't know what you were doing the last time, or?
No, I did, but I didn't work as much on the songs as I did. You know, this time I was able to finish all the songs and have a demo version of the album before we even went into the studio.
So you just had more time.
Yeah, well, I had lots of time before too, but I didn't have the means to record it properly. And now I bought like a Pro Tools rig, so I can do proper recordings of the entire songs back home, which I couldn't really do before. And that had me working harder on the songs and going into the small details more.
So we can expect a lot more music now. You have your own Pro Tools rig at home.
Actually, maybe, yeah. You know, it's really a joy to work down there in my little home studio. I like it, you know.